So, the title of today's video is Why Playing Defense in Life Will Eventually Destroy You. Let me tell you something brutal. In boxing, the moment your opponent realizes you're not going to throw anything back, it's over. They start working forward, they loosen up, they lower their guards, they throw shots they normally wouldn't dare throw. Not because they're better than you, but because they're no longer afraid. And fear, or the absence of it, decides everything. And this is going to be the topic of today's video, that this is not just boxing, this is life. So, why is defense harmful? Because most people think survival is about playing it safe, keeping your head down, avoiding risks, making sure, no one misinterprets you, not rocking the boat. And you think defense is wisdom, but it's not. Defense without offense is just slow surrender. And this is what I want to talk about today, and why playing defense in life, financially, mentally, socially, and spiritually, will eventually get you taken out. Not immediately, but inevitably. So, why am I using the boxing metaphor? In my earlier days, I used to box in an amateur setting. But there's one thing I did notice, that if you watch the real fight, and not the highlights or the clips, but any real fight or even sparring, you'll notice something very specific. The most dangerous fighter is not always the strongest or the fastest, but they're the one who can hit back. Because your opponent knows that every mistake will be punished. They hesitate, they lighten up, they stop creating. um, they raise their guard up and they become like a turtle. But the moment they realize that you're passive, they take liberties. They lower their guard. They throw wild shots. They overextend and they apply pressure nonstop. Why? Because there's no consequence. And pressure without consequence breaks people. And that's how careers end. And that's how fights get ugly. Look at Mike Tyson's early career. The fearless ruthlessness was the aggression of the relentless punch that was coming to you any second without any sign of hesitation. So, how does this relate to life? Life works very much the same way. Life doesn't respect passivity, it exploits it. If you only play defense in life, just reacting, surviving, hoping things don't get worse, eventually a lucky shot lands. A bad year, a bad decision, a bad person, a bad market, a bad diagnosis. And because you've never built offense, you're done. The best defense has teeth. It pushes back, it applies pressure of its own. Because the universe, and yes, people, are predators, and they sense weakness. It's not always consciously, but instinctively. Now, you've heard the phrase, when it rains, it pours, as 50 Cent said. People say it like it's bad luck. It's not. It's momentum. The second weakness shows, things start to stack up. One problem invites another. One loss invites more losses. One setback lowers your posture. And once you're bent, everything piles on. Bills, stress, debt, people testing you, opportunities disappearing. And this is not cruelty, this is life. This is physics. Now, the unfair truth of it all, and this is the part that people hate hearing: the hungry don't get fed. Those who want receive nothing, and those who need nothing receive everything. Is this fair? No, but it's real. The game has been rigged from the start to favor people who can hit back, people who beg, people People who don't beg, people who don't chase, people who don't signal desperation, those move with certainty, and certainty creates gravity. Think about every single successful person that you know. They don't chase, they attract. They don't signal desperation, they attract it through certainty. Now, fear is a currency, and I'm not talking about violence, I'm talking about presence. People need to know, consciously or unconsciously, that crossing you has consequences. And we're not talking about violence, we're talking that ignoring you costs something, and underestimating you is dangerous. Not because you're loud, not because you're violent, not because you're dangerous, but because you are loud, but because you're capable, silently dangerous. That's edge. And edge keep predators at bay. If you're in your job and someone feels, your boss feels that they can mess with you, if you don't fight back and answer back, they will keep picking on you. Now, let's talk about momentum. Momentum is real. It's not metaphorical. It is literal. The law of physics don't stop at matter. An object in motion stays in motion, and an object at rest, it doesn't stay safe. It decays, it rusts, it gets overtaken. In life, stillness isn't neutral, it's fatal. If you're not advancing, you're being eroded, slowly, quietly, until one day you realize you don't recognize yourself anymore. Speed is the ultimate test of progress. Speed plus intensity equals success. Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. So, don't be a punching bag. Stop absorbing hits and calling it maturity. Stop playing defense and calling it wisdom. Fight back, build offense, throw your jabs, throw your punches, and make sure you're feared. Become dangerous, not reckless or cruel, but capable. Always have an edge, always keep momentum. You literally are like a snowball. You the you're pushing it up a hill until the top, and this is the hardest part. But once you get to close to the top, then it goes downhill because then you're at the top, and the downhill is much easier at the top because you've built momentum. And the world doesn't reward those who curl up. It rewards those who stay standing, those who keep fighting and giving momentum. So, as we said, speed plus intensity equals success. So, if this video hit you, good. It means you're still awake. Now, subscribe if you're building strength, not comfort. And remember, you don't win by surviving, you win by pushing forward. Thank you all very much for watching the video and hope this has helped. See you all on the next one.